Today's verse of the day, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And if you faithfully obey the voice of the Lord your God, being careful to do all his commandments, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. Following God's system will unlock you access to abundance and prosperity in ways that you can't even imagine. Just by simply being obedient and a follower of Christ and God will allow you access to opportunities to growth and value that you can't even imagine. So it's important that every day you do your best to stick to God's standard way of living so that you can come out on the other side the best version of yourself and the best version that God envisions you to be. Everything we have is borrowed. It's not ours, it's his. So doing right by what he's provided us goes without any question about how you manage or handle these resources that you're given. There should be no second thought or doubt in your mind that you should not move in the way that God wants you to move in order to receive the blessings that you're receiving. With that being said, let's move to the charts and talk about what we did this previous week. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Here we have the Monday charts loaded, and here we have the NQ chart loaded up, ticker symbol NQ, 5-minute time frame for the Monday session. So we were looking to take reversals off of our retest of resistance right there at the 2400-604 level, and then the 2400-698 level, where the two zones where we saw some reactions to possible rejections. So I took a few entries initially off the 24,604 level, got a quick scalp to the downside here, but we reversed back up and went back higher for my runner, so I stopped out. From there, I looked to take another position as we started to push higher. I did get catch the initial push to this 24,698 level after seeing rejections come in. But then once again, we reversed and went back up, so I stopped out it once more, but I got back in it once we got back up here and saw the confirmation of this failure once again. Using this candle high here as a stop loss, we were able to ride this down back into the orb high level, right then to take profits, and it continued to go lower after breaking back below the orb, pushing all the way down to low of day for this session, right around 2400-443, and pushing even lower than that, going down to about 2400-308. So pretty good push to the downside after that failure of that 24,698 level. So from there, we just pretty much were done for the day. And yeah, that was really it for Monday. So overall, it was a good start to the week. We had some initial battles going back and forth because we kept getting stopped out of our runners, but once we got that break below that orb high, we just took off, and that gave me a substantial gain in the market. So I was very happy with the execution on Monday. Pretty good risk management, pretty good entry points, and everything I was happy with my execution overall. So that was Monday. Let's move on to Tuesday and talk about what trades we took on Tuesday. All right, ladies and gents, here we have the Tuesday chart loaded up back on the NQ charts. We had a pretty range-bound day on NQ going into Tuesday's session. We failed below our previous day high levels, so we opened below that, but we were just failing to get a push lower or a push higher, and so we really just range-bound between orb for majority of the day. We had a few breaks above the orb, and then we saw sharp rejections after reaching back up to this 24,386 level. We saw some failure going back down to the orb high, and so my idea was that we were going to go lower given that we were failing to reclaim previous demand levels. So I simply was looking for any signs of failure above the orb high, and so that's what we did. So initially we had an orb high failure here, which is where I took a position. And we caught this move from the high of this candle at 24,343 to the low of this candle at 24,191. However, we had something very interesting happen, and a lot of this week we had a lot of this happen. Trump was making the market move very volatile due to his random Trump tweets and random things that he was publishing on True Social, and it caused the market to move in a very manipulative, volatile way. So as you see this candle here, what would have been a continuation turned into a manipulation and a push back into this orb high, stopping out probably most people, but for me, I was able to get out of it and be very nimble on this trade, taking profits and then looking for re-entries because I wasn't confident in the price action of the day, given how we were stuck in the range and not pushing below or above the orb high. So after we got out of this position, it pushed back higher, reclaimed, failed this level. As we failed this level, I looked for a re-entry back below the orb high and back below these EMAs, which are the blue, light blue and green lines you see on the chart. So after we got that failure back below the orb high, I looked for a retest, saw a little bit of a fake out, so I waited a little bit longer, and sure enough, we caught this move. Once I saw it properly fail and retest with volume increasing, we got in on this retest here using this candle as a stop loss and closure back above the orb high. I was able to catch this move even lower back down to the orb low, taking profits once again because I noticed that we were stuck in this range. And I wasn't really pushing it too much more than that. We stayed in the range, we played the range, and that was good. Sometimes in your trading sessions, you're gonna have to just play a range and stick to base hits. Don't try to hit home runs on days like Tuesday where you see it ranging between a certain zone and it's not moving up or down below that zone. So you just want to be mindful of that on your journey as an investor, as a day trader. But yeah, that was our session for Tuesday. It did end up breaking down a little bit right after pre-market or post-market after the session closed. And so that was that. But let's move on to Wednesday and talk about what trades we took on Wednesday. All right, here we have the Wednesday chart loaded up back on the NQ charts 5-minute time frame. As you guys see, we were stuck once again in that range, holding above, right in between the 24,386 level and a little bit below the 24,604 level. We formed an orb, a very tight orb range from 24, and the 24,478 levels. And so as you see, we had a very tight range, but we initially broke that orb low and got a very, very strong failure back down to the lows of 24,327. However, we reversed and reclaimed that level, reclaiming the orb low and then pushing back into orb high, where we then saw another failure back off the orb high once again, getting a failure once more off of this orb low, going back down, which is where I looked to take position after seeing this failure. I waited for a possible retest of this level to come back up and get a better entry due to the massive volatility that happened in the push lower. We did catch a reversal off this previous level as we saw that it once bounced. We took another bounce here once we saw this failure to go lower. Using this candle low as a stop loss here, we caught this push back into the orb low. But then once we got to the orb low, I trimmed profits, took all profits actually, and look for a re-entry to the downside. And that's what we did. Once we saw this wick up and fail to reclaim the orb low, we took this position here using this candle high as a stop loss. We were able to catch this move back down to 24,386. Pushed a little bit below that. I took profits around here, and I wanted to get in it again to see if it would continue. It did continue slightly, but then it reversed back up and going back higher. So we initially stopped out of that position. We weren't able to capitalize off of it the way I wanted to, but we did make some money on it nonetheless. And after that, we pretty much were just stuck between those two zones once more. And then we closed the day going down a little bit more. So that was the trading session for NQ on Wednesday. We didn't take any trades once again on Thursday, but that happened to be the best cash flowing price action day. And unfortunately, I just didn't take any trades due to me disciplining myself and not allowing myself to take trades on Thursdays, because that tends to be a day that I do really badly in the market. So I'm trying to alleviate the losses and really stick to a strategy that works for me. And so not trading on Thursdays has been very, very beneficial for me. So I did miss out on the price action that we had on Thursday, but we can look at the charts and just show you guys what took place. I don't think I charted anything yet, so I didn't chart anything, but you guys just see here we had a massive drawdown on Thursday, and we missed out on a very, very, very insane gain of a day had we taken puts. But it's a part of the game. Sometimes you miss out on these opportunities, especially on days where it tends to not move well for you, and I just rather be safe than sorry and protect my gains for the week. Given that we're up overall for the week, I didn't really want to overdo it and try to press my luck and do something, go against my own word and say that I wasn't gonna do something and do it anyway. Because at that point, I have no discipline, and my principles outweigh my greed or my eagerness to want to make money in the market. You have to have things that you stand for in your journey for trading that will help you be better off for the long term. Because this day might have produced this crazy of a move, but even though we missed out, that doesn't mean that's the only opportunity that's created like this. There's opportunities like this created every single day. So as long as I'm staying consistent and showing up in the market, I will have my day where I catch this kind of opportunity. But with that being said, let's move on to Friday and talk about what we took on Friday. Hey, what's going on, y'all? I just want to say thank you all for watching. If you guys are new, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, turn on the notification bell. And if you guys want to learn more about how to day trade, I have a free day trading course on my website at www.continuebelief.com. There you'll get all the information and resources needed to help you guys learn more on your journey to day trading. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get back to it. All right, ladies and gents, here we have the Friday chart loaded up back on the NQ chart, 5-minute time frame. And we had a very interesting price action day on Friday. So initially, we were holding above the orb high and the orb low. High being 23,664, and then the low being 23,532. We then failed that going into about 850. And once we failed it, we were trying to see whether or not it would continue to go lower. However, it was just holding above this 23,450 level for the longest. It would not push below that level, but it was holding below the orb low. So I took some positions as we were reapproaching the orb, and I caught the initial put here. Using this candle as a stop loss, I was able to catch this back down to that previous range that we were at, 23,450, taking profits, getting back in it again once we retested once more later on in this session around 10 o'clock. I used the same thing because I saw that it was holding below this 23,555 level. And so I simply just used that candle, that break above that range as a stop loss, and I was able to just pretty much rinse and repeat this entry over and over. And so I was done trading after this because it did end up breaking back above this range. Once it broke back above this range, it was just kind of playing a lot of manipulation games. And so I was pretty much done, but later in the session, it did end up breaking this 23,450. And it actually ended up breaking after 12 o'clock. And I noticed that Thursday and Friday both had some crazy moves after 12 o'clock. Typically, I don't trade after 12 o'clock, especially because that's typically when I tend to lose most. So I don't try to trade after 12 o'clock, but seeing this price action makes me want to keep an eye out for any trades after 12 o'clock or any possible opportunity after 12 o'clock, because you just see here we had a very massive move after failing back below this orb low, and then failing the 23,450, we went even lower all the way down to about, we closed low. We closed all the way down here, closer to 23,269. So almost a 200 pip move after 12 o'clock. Crazy price action. But we were able to catch some pretty good scalps nonetheless on our initial session within the hour. So I was happy with that execution, and I wasn't too mad about that. So overall, we had a great session this week. Happy with my execution, happy with my protection of the, profits. And yeah, so with that being said, let's talk about what we can expect to see happen going into this first week of April and the first week of the second quarter. All right, ladies and gents, here we have the SPY chart loaded up on the 4-hour time frame. So we had some crazy price action this week, from a gap up that looked to be a possible reclaim to ending off in a sea of red. a lot of selling pressure kicked in this week, a lot of failure of a lot of demand levels from 640, 650, 646, 650, 655. We failed all those levels and we ended up closing out the week at 634.07. So what can we expect to see going into this next week? What are the levels to watch going into next week? As you guys see here, we are approaching this gray line here, which is actually a level that we haven't seen since last year. And so that gray line is going to be the major level of demand that I see us hitting soon. If we hold above this level, we can see a possible retest of 640. If we reclaim 640, we can push back above 640, going into about 645 to 646. And then if we push back above that level, we can then push it to 650. However, if we fail 632, we can then see lower going down to about 627 to 626. So our levels to watch going into this week are going to be at 632 level. It's going to be our line in the sand for the week to dictate and determine how much lower or higher we'll see going into this month of April. So if we hold that level, we can push higher. If we fail that level, we can push lower. And if we fail 626 to 627, we can see down to 618. If we fell below that, we can see even lower going down to possibly 610. That'll probably be my next level if we fail 618. So very, very interesting times where we finally are seeing some form of correction. We're only down close to 10%, but not quite. We're at right around 9% roughly. So this is correction territory, but you know, if we are going to be in like a recession economy or anything like that, then that would need to be about a 20% drop in the ETF SPY. So yeah, that's my thoughts right now. Comment below your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys catch any opportunities this week for the downside move that we had? I was in puts the week prior and they expired on Wednesday of last week, I think, and then this continuation move happened. I've been waiting for it to happen. I missed out on most of this move, but I was able to catch day trades on it, but I wanted to swing puts into the downside. So to see this happen and unfold so fast, it just goes to show how quickly the market flows. And you know, you've got to be in a position that makes sense for you to capitalize on it. And even in the uncertainty, as long as you have your risk in check, then that's what matters the most. So we are pulling back, so this does mean that there's opportunities loading. So just be prepared for more opportunities to present themselves to go back up. Because as it goes lower and lower, that means that the opportunity to go back up is getting better and better. And that just means you're getting at more of a discount. So why not take advantage of these opportunities that are starting to present themselves in the market and position yourself properly so that you can win. It just goes with, you know, the verse of the day with Deuteronomy, how following God's system will create an abundant lifestyle for you. Following a system in the market will create an abundant lifestyle for you if you're disciplined enough in following the rules you establish and God established and combining them together to win. But with that being said, you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure, if you guys are new, to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the Rich Off Gains podcast, episode 22. It's your boy CB checking in with you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.